story I was going to tell you. At the time, I picked up the phone at work early in the morning, and I don't know if we were at a game the night before or what, but the caller was from West Hollywood, and he straight up told me, like, you should do voiceovers for gay porn.
I do remember that. Oh.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Are you practicing?
Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Oh, baby.
Okay, Rocco.
The sad thing is I understood that joke as a kid, and I don't think my dad knew that I understood that joke as a kid, and I don't know how I understood that joke as a kid, but I did.
It's almost like you have pattern recognition or something.
Weird.
I never actually watched it.
Rocko's Modern Life?
Yeah, it was gross.
We watched that, like, pseudo movie they did a few years back.
Yeah.
I loved that show, because it was... So Mom wouldn't let us watch cartoons, because they're too violent.
Yep.
But when she went back to work, and Dad, like, quit his real job to become a pastor, he would watch us in the mornings before school, and he would put on Looney Tunes. And when Looney Tunes stopped being aired, it was Rocko's Modern Life was on, a show called Hysteria, which is like the redheaded stepchild of Animaniacs and Freakazoid, and it was like a history-based comedy show, and I loved that shit. Like, the first episode of that is about Montezuma's revenge. Like, specifically, Montezuma is getting his revenge, and it's just a shit joke. Yeah, so I grew up on Rocko.
So, speaking of, you know about Toonami Afternoons coming back, right?
I do.
Do you know what's especially exciting about that?
It's the non-cut, new, like, real English dub of Sailor Moon.
The non-homophobic dub of Sailor Moon, where canonically 2 of the sailors are dating each other.
But they were just friends, according to historians. They were just friends.
They were cousins. That's why they held hands all the time.
Friends.
And I'm pretty sure it's like...
I've never seen Sailor Moon. No. I know that look. No.
I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, there are books of it, I think.
Speaking of books, this is yet another episode of Soon to Be a Major Motion Podcast, the podcast where we read books that were turned into movies and watch movies that are based on books. I am one of your hosts, Billy Beck.
I am the other host, Codie Beck.
And Codie, how have you been?
I've been fine. I don't really have anything new to report. Work is happening.
Yeah, we've done, like, nothing.
I mean, we had that Angel City game.
Yeah.
But...
They won the other night, scoreless draw against San Diego.
Felt like a win.
Felt like a win because they almost scored at the end.
Hey.
Could have been worse.
What about you? Have you done anything interesting or fun?
Not particularly. City won the league again. 4 in a row. So celebrated that last weekend. And this morning, I'm not going to talk about it. Actually, it doesn't... So United beat City for the FA Cup. And most years that would devastate me. But this year, I'm like, you know what? They're gonna fire Erik ten Hag anyway. Which is funny. And if they don't fire him, that means he's gonna be their manager next year. Which is also funny. And
there are no downsides.
And thirdly, now that means the Community Shield will be City versus United, and not City versus Arsenal. Which is also very funny that Arsenal supporters spent the entirety of 2024 hoping City would lose a game so they could win the league. And City didn't lose a game until today. That cost them their spot in the Community Shield. So, I'm not even mad. Not even mad. Would I have preferred us to win? Absolutely. But I'm not even mad. Yeah, I got you watching baseball.
I don't want to talk about it.
She doesn't want to talk about it. Since she told us all that she hates baseball.
I hate it. It's boring and stupid.
I've found excuses to put baseball on almost every night.
Yes, he
And
has.
Almost every night, she's asking me questions and watching baseball. And my plan is working.
Immediately after I ask you the questions, I say, don't answer that. I don't want to know. I don't care.
And I will give you in-depth answers. I'll tell you the history of Puddinhead Jones. We could talk about what RISP means. War as a stat.
I hate you so much.
Talk to you about ERA and how a lower number is better.
You tricked me. Because you were a theater kid when we met.
One of these days I'm going to explain to you the infield fly rule. And you're going to be very confused and very upset.
I'm pretty sure that if I can sort of grasp the offside rule in soccer, I will be able to grasp the infield fly rule.
Oh, this rule is very dumb. To the point where I can't remember the exact details of when it is even eligible to be a rule. There has to be, I think, fewer than 2 outs. And I think runners on first and second, or something like that. And then if the ball is popped up into the infield, it's automatically an out. So that the fielder can't just drop it and get a quick double or triple play.
That seems like there was someone that was very salty about one thing happening.
Yes. That is, So, I also watch rugby occasionally. I watch a lot of soccer, as I've talked about, and I grew up watching American football. And watching rugby through the lens of a, missing link sport between soccer and football really is fun for me, because I can see things in American football that came from rugby, where one guy got mad one day about, no, that's not fair, this should count. So in rugby, in American football, when you cross the end line, it's called a touchdown, right? Mm-hmm. In rugby, you have to actually physically touch the ball down inside the end zone for it to count. So I can imagine the day on the field where one guy got really mad, no, I got the ball across the line. That should be all I have to do. That counts. That counts. Yeah, it should be 6 points instead of 5. And then after the kick, it's only 1 point, because it's easy. It should only count for 1. The hard part's getting across the line. You can hear when you watch both sports where, one asshole got really upset and everyone was like, fine, Gary. Fine. We'll do it your way. It's such an American thing, too.
So, that was two episodes ago was your agenda to make me like baseball.
Oh, we'll have another agenda to make you like baseball later in the year. When I make you read fucking history.
Yeah.
You're gonna love it, too. You're gonna be fascinated by it, because it's about, organized crime, and labor unions, and, you'll love that shit.
So, speaking of unions, we had a question. We had audience participation on our last pod.
Yes, we did.
Which was what would your group of friends do, and what would you call it? And one of my favorite coworkers ever, Sophia, who was a listener of the pod, she let me know that her and her friends meet monthly, and they go to Salt and Straw, which is a local, West Coast or local?
We supply them with their safes, so I should know this. I think they're West Coast?
I feel like they started in Oregon.
Yeah. We ship most of their shit to locations in California. But that might just be because we're based in California as well. But I don't think they're just SoCal.
I mean, it's not like I have the internet in the palm of my hand and could, check that.
Anyway, this is a diversion to your point.
Yes. Okay, so their locations are Oregon, LA and Orange County, Disney, San Diego, North California.
Wait, Disney World or Land?
It just says Disney.
Land.
San Diego, North California, Washington, Miami, and Las Vegas. So primarily West Coast.
What the fuck are they doing in Miami?
Money, baby.
Yeah, that's true.
Tourists.
Yeah. Same reason there's an In-N-Out in Vegas now.
Yeah. They tried to get a Chick-fil-A, and Chick-fil-A said no.
Their loss. How many drunk tourists would eat Chick-fil-A all fucking day in Vegas? Mm-hmm. Fucking homophobes.
So
Good chicken, though.
So...
I'm sorry. Let me open this and finish the crinkling before you carry on. Because I just realized this is going to be so fucking audible.
Just ASMR crinkles.
Oh, yes.
So Sophia's friends and her meet monthly, and they go to Salt and Straw to try the new flavors. And she says that she would call it Corporate Hose with Ice Cream Woes.
It's such a great name.
It's such a good name.
I love that. I love that. It's something that I think about regularly is the idea of a third space. Because I was listening to a podcast. It was actually an episode of the show Some More News, where it was called "What's Wrong with Men?"
Oh, Codie.
And it was like, yeah, it was a lot of Andrew Tate talk, a lot of manosphere talk, and there's a lot of things that need to change socially for like that issue to stop. But one of the big ones is just a place where dudes can just hang out with their friends, because that's what a lot of these young men go to these fucking Liver King discords and shit for, is just to, talk with guys their own age about problems that guys their own age have, and it's harder and harder to find those spaces.
I mean, it's even if you extrapolate from men and you just think about like modern culture, there's basically nowhere in America that you can go and just be in public without having to spend money.
Yeah.
There's a TikTok that I saw. It was one of the long form ones. It was like 10 minutes long or whatever. And this couple actually moved abroad, and they live in somewhere in the middle European countries. And they're talking about how they went to a local park at like 8 p.m. and there's hundreds of people there.
Yeah.
Just families and friends just chilling, because you can do that. It's almost like we should have like a social safety net, or maybe trying to extract and monetize every single facet of human existence has a problem.
What's that? Capitalism? Capitalism's a problem?
You would never say that.
I would. Whoa, you know me, staunch capitalist. How dare you insinuate that what I have built my life around is a problem? I feel gross. I need to take a shower.
Burn it all down.
Ah.
So yes. Thank you for the participation, Sophia. We took it to a dark place.
Yes, we appreciate that. Love that.
Speaking of capitalism and its failures.
Well, not so much capitalism as industrialization. Two sides of the same coin? No.
They both allow the other to flourish?
Two faces of the same die? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm mixing some metaphors here. Anyway, this week, we're talking about Diana Wynne Jones' novel and Hayao Miyazaki's film, Howl's Moving Castle.
Yes.
Codie.
Yes.
How did you first hear about Howl's Moving Castle?
I was watching Toonami.
Oh, bringing it back.
And they had what they called their month of Miyazaki, where every Saturday at 8 p.m., and I believe it was the month of March, they played a different Miyazaki movie. First week was Spirited Away. Second week was Castle in the Sky. Third week was Princess Mononoke. And I believe the fourth week was Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind.
So they just played the same movie 2 weeks in a row then?
Pretty much, yeah. I don't know if that was exactly the order. I do know Spirited Away was first because that was the one that I saw first. And I completely fell in love. I was already, like, starting to get into anime because I had started watching Inuyasha by chance on vacation. And then my best friend, my 7th grade best friend introduced me to more anime in the form of Wolf's Rain. And then we both kind of got into Naruto and Fruits Basket, and clearly that has never left. I saw a meme today that was just like, relationships come and go, but your middle school hyperfixations will never leave you.
She says this looking at the shelf where her collection of Fruits Basket novels and DVDs are.
It's 2 shelves, because I've got 3 versions of it.
Yes, that's correct.
So, that aside, Spirited Away was my introduction to Hayao Miyazaki, and I remember getting really excited, because part of the reason that they were doing the month of Miyazaki was because Howl's Moving Castle was coming out. So it was a promotion for that movie coming out later in the year. So this must have been 2004?
Yeah, it would have been.
So that was my introduction to Miyazaki and Howl's Moving Castle. I didn't find out until much later that it was based on a book. I want to say it may even have been as late as us living in this apartment.
Oh, so the last, 10 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Because I also, in a twist that will surprise no one, I am a big fantasy reader. So I went through a phase of just kind of digging through all of the young adult fantasy that I could find, because I was trying to erase the memory of a book series that shall not be named, and find its replacement. And so I read this, and I absolutely fell in love with it.
Nice.
And I will leave the rest of that sentence for later in the pod.
Yes, you will. We'll get into that.
What about you? What was your introduction to Howl's Moving Castle?
So I grew up on My Neighbor Totoro. And when I say grew up, I mean, my grandmother had the VHS from the late 80s.
The terrible Fox adaptation.
Pre-Disney Ghibli cooperation. So I thankfully don't remember any of the dialogue, but I'm sure it was nothing like what's currently on the dub.
They also fully cut out that bath scene, right?
I remember the bath scene.
Oh, okay.
But they might have edited it. But I remember that scene being in there. But no, I loved that movie because it was unlike other cartoons. And I didn't understand at the time that it's because it was Japanese and translated. But, structurally, that movie is just, the plot is so limited and background. And it's more just about being a kid. And that's something Miyazaki always did well. I didn't know the name Miyazaki yet. I just knew I loved that movie. And then a few years later, my one aunt who had the wall of VHS tapes 2 layers deep and would let me borrow things because she was trying to buy her kids' loves. Every Tuesday she'd go to Walmart and buy the new releases. She was the best. She recommended Kiki's to me. And I was like, starting to be of that age of ew, a girl. Why do I want to watch a girl movie? And she's like, it's by the same guy who made Totoro. And I was like, oh, actually, I probably would like that, but I'm not gonna watch it. So that's how I found out who Miyazaki was. And then probably around the same time as you, I would see ads for Howl's. Because I remember when Spirited Away came out, and it was a huge success. It won an Oscar and all that.
It was the first animated feature to win an Oscar, right?
I can't remember if it was Spirited Away or Shrek. It was Shrek. Because Shrek came out the year before.
Ah, okay.
The nominees are Shrek, Monsters, Inc., and Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius.
Monsters, Inc. was that early?
2000. And then Spirited Away beat out Ice Age, Lilo and Stitch, Spirit, Stallion of the Cimarron, and Treasure Planet. Which, yeah, actually Spirited Away is the correct choice there.
It is, but also, like, Treasure Planet and Spirit were both excellent.
Howl's was beaten by Wallace and Gromit: Curse of the Were-Rabbit.
That's fair.
Yeah. One of their Miyazakis were nominated.
Was Ponyo nominated for anything?
Doesn't look like it. Wind Rises was nominated, beaten by Frozen. And I think whatchamajigger won it last year, right?
Boy and the Heron?
Yeah, Boy and the Heron won.
Yeah. I wasn't sure if that, like, which year that was.
Yeah, that was the most recent. Gore Verbinski? Oh, Rango. Gore Verbinski directed Rango?
Apparently he did.
What the fuck? I was not paying attention. Anywho. Oh, we're gonna digress a lot, aren't we? So yeah, when Howl's was coming out, I was also watching Toonami a lot at the time, so I'm sure I saw ads. But I didn't see it until we went to see it when it was re-released as part of Ghibli Fest about 8-9 years ago.
You just unlocked a core memory for me, which was, it must have been on some DVD or movie or something, but the trailer for Kiki's. I just remember that one scene in the trailer where the boy is falling off of the blimp and Kiki has to go rescue him and he's like holding on to her broom. And I distinctly remember that for no reason. Just that one moment in the trailer.
Huh.
Because I had never seen Kiki's till we watched it together.
That's the only time I'd seen it. Because you very, very lovingly got me a whole Blu-ray set of Hayao Miyazaki's works. And the first one I popped open was Kiki's because I loved it and I wanted to watch it again, and that Blu-ray don't work.
Because the plastic sleeve is like fused to the back of it. Yeah, like
melted. I think I could probably clean it. I just haven't yet. Mm-hmm. Oh, I eventually will.
Yeah.
So, you read the book.
I did.
Allegedly. And I didn't watch you read it, but you said you read it. So now I'm going to need you to prove that. I need you to tell me what this book is about.
So, I do not like that you are besmirching me and my reputation, because there is not a single time that I've not read one of these books.
Yeah, but how lately have we been recording on Saturdays instead of Thursdays? Because
it's not my fault this week.
No, this one's Angel City's fault.
So, our protagonist, 18-year-old Sophie Hatter, is the eldest of three sisters living in Market Chipping, a town in the magical kingdom of Ingery, where fairy tale tropes are accepted ways of life. As the eldest, she is resigned to a dull future running the hat shop because she is destined to fail if she seeks her fortune. She starts noticing that a bunch of weird stuff happens to the hats that she trims for her family's hat shop. And the powerful Witch of the Waste comes into the hat shop and curses her to be an old lady. So she runs away and finds the castle of the notorious dark wizard Howl. And she thinks she'll be safe there because he has a bad reputation, but it's only for young women. Apparently he consumes their hearts. She strikes a bargain with the fire demon Calcifer, who operates the castle. If she can break the contract between himself and Howl, he will break the curse on her. Because both of their curses are that they are cursed and cannot say it. Or Sophie is cursed, but she can't tell anyone she's cursed unless they figure it out first. Calcifer and Howl have a contract, but Calcifer cannot disclose the details of that contract. Sophie learns that Howl is not actually a dark wizard. He spreads those rumors so that people leave him alone. His house has a magical door that is a portal. There are 4 places that it has doors. One is in Market Chipping. One is in Kingsbury, the capital city of Ingery. The third is Port Haven, which is a port city in this world. The fourth is a black dot that leads nowhere as far as she can tell. And only Howl goes in. He has an apprentice who is a teenage boy. And throughout this, she also finds out that her stepmother sent her 2 siblings to their respective fortunes. The middle daughter was sent to learn magic, and the youngest daughter was sent to... vice versa. Middle daughter was sent to an apprenticeship at the town baker, and the youngest daughter was sent to a witch to learn magic. following fairy tale tropes, and it turns out that they actually switched places. So her sister is learning magic, and her stepsister is the one that is at the bakery, earning her fortune. As Sophie shows up at Howl's castle, things are getting ready to kind of go off in the Kingdom of Ingary because the prince's younger brother has disappeared, Prince Justin, and the court-appointed Wizard Suleiman, has gone missing and is also presumed to be dead, killed by the Witch of the Waste. He had been sent to the Waste to kind of dispose of her. So the king is now courting Howl to become the new court wizard, which Howl does not want to do. So he sends Sophie to blacken his name. She goes back, he gets appointed as court wizard, and that's where shit really starts off, because it turns out that Howl is cursed by the Witch of the Waste, because she found out that he is actually from Wales.
Just fucking Wales?
The Black Door leads to Wales of England.
The home of my arch nemesis, Gareth Bale? That Wales?
Yes.
Fuck Wales.
And what happens is when they go to Wales, because Sophie opened the door and tried to go without Howl, she actually fucked up a spell. And they have to go into Wales where they get, the curse takes hold, because the Witch of the Waste figured out that he was from not this plane and sent the curse to get him from there. And Sophie goes to rescue someone from the Witch of the Waste, someone that she thinks is Howl's new lover. It's actually the Witch of the Waste's fire demon, who successfully takes Calcifer, and then Sophie uses her magical power to break the contract between Howl and Calcifer, allowing Howl to destroy the fire demon and the Witch of the Waste once and for all, and then they both realize that they're in love with one another, and Calcifer comes back anyway.
Okay, so a lot of those names you were saying sounded familiar, and it started like you were describing the movie I saw, but things go a little bit... How about, get over here, let's take a look at this trailer, and then you tell me if this is based on the same book.
From master filmmaker Hayao Miyazaki, the director of the Academy Award-winning Spirited Away.
That is ancient sorcery. And quite powerful, too.
This summer, experience the epic tale of a young woman transformed by a mysterious curse.
That's really me, isn't it?
An enchanted moving castle.
This is a magic house.
And the one wizard powerful enough to set her free.
This charm will guarantee your safe return.
Walt Disney Studios presents a Studio Ghibli production of a Hayao Miyazaki film.
Hold on.
This June, journey to amazing new worlds.
Find me in the future!
Aboard Howl's moving castle.
So, I guess it's kind of hard to tell from that trailer. Because a lot of what you said was in there. Howl's Moving Castle, released, I believe, in 2004 in Japan, 2005 in the US. Follows the story of... I didn't actually write this out this week because I forgot. It follows the story of Sophie, who is a young daughter of a hatter, who meets a young wizard named Howl, is entranced by him, and then enchanted by the Witch of the Waste to become an old lady. So she escapes into the wasteland, where she stumbles across Howl's Moving Castle, roll credits, enters it, hires herself as the cleaning lady, and over the course of the movie with her new friends, Markle, who is Howl's assistant, Turnip Head, who is an enchanted scarecrow with a turnip for a head, who follows her around, and the Witch of the Waste, who Solomon turns into just an old lady who's kind of a bitch. They help prevent a war from continuing that Howl has been fighting in the background by, well, shenanigans?
Shenanigans is a good description.
I guess. Like, they stopped the war by Sophie kissing Turnip Head and turning him into the missing prince. And he's like, ah, yes, I was also cursed. And I needed to be kissed by my one true love, which is you, Sophie, but I can see you actually love Howl, so I'm gonna fuck back home and end the war. And, yeah.
So, yes, that is explained better in the book.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff isn't quite explained in the movie to the same level of detail. So,
what happened in the book is that the Witch of the Waste is trying to create the perfect man. Because she has been controlled by her fire demon for so long that she's essentially not human anymore. So the fire demon is trying to create a new body for himself. For itself, I should say.
Is that why she's, like, got all them blobbies?
She does not look like that in the novel.
Well, she looks like words in the novel.
She's not described the way that she appears. She is a thin, attractive woman.
Yeah, she not.
So the fire demon, has killed Wizard Solomon and Prince Justin, and has basically separated them from their bodies because the demon is Frankensteining their bodies into the perfect body, and the completion of which is going to be Howl's head. So the scarecrow is the different pieces that she didn't need for the first body put into one, and she sent it to find Solomon's skull because she basically like threw Solomon's skull out and was like, go find it, to keep the scarecrow busy.
Yeah.
And the function of the scarecrow is to scare the shit out of Sophie, because it's not made super clear in the movie, but Sophie has magical power. Specifically, her magical power is that she puts life into things through her words. So
that is not in the fucking movie.
The way that she is ultimately able to break the contract between Howl and Calcifer is the witch has essentially started controlling Howl, the demon has, and Sophie grabs Calcifer and is like, what happens if I break the contract? And he's like, I don't know, it could kill both of us. She's like, okay, I have to take that risk. I give you life for another 1,000 years. And that's how she breaks the contract, is because now his life isn't dependent on Howl.
Huh. Yeah, I feel like I need to rewatch that with that context now. Mm-hmm. Because, like, so I love the works of Hayao Miyazaki. And it's one of the things I was saying earlier about Totoro. I mean, like, I just looked over at the wall of Miyazaki art we have. Like, yes. The puzzle of Totoro, the Japanese posters of Castle in the Sky, Totoro and Kiki's, the
lovely Spirited Away artwork.
The Spirited Away artwork I got you. We fucking adore this man's work. And like I was saying before, one of the things I love about Totoro is that Hayao Miyazaki is a vibes guy. He cares a little bit less about specifics and more about vibes. I don't want to say cares less about story, because he cares about story and he cares a lot about themes.
Yes.
But as far as how he tells that, all about the vibes, baby.
Like, the book is written as a loving homage to fantasy tropes, especially in, like, fairy tales. And the movie feels like it was another anti-industrialization movie by Miyazaki, which doesn't mean that it's bad. It's just different.
He's got his lane. He's got his lane that he likes. In fact, like, that was like Miyazaki's lanes. The false idea of innocence of youth. Because a lot of his movies with kids are about how they're not really quite that innocent, but also there's still an innocence about them. Like that'd be like your Ponyos, your Totoros, your what's the other one? Kiki, stuff like that.
He does coming of age movies very well.
Yeah, he's a very he doesn't shy away from the harsh realities of coming of age, I guess is what I'm trying to say with that. That's one of his lanes.
Yeah, Spirited Away is another one.
Yeah. Anti-war is a massive lane of his.
Yes.
Environmentalism. Mononoke, Nausicaa, that's environmentalism.
And anti-war in Mononoke.
And anti-war. And anti-industrialization.
Yes.
Which would be things like this. Nausicaa. Like Castle in the Sky's got some of that.
Yeah, Castle in the Sky is a lot about like how industrialization leads to ruin.
Yeah. And while this film is very anti-industrial, like the way he animates her hometown, what's the name of the town?
Market Chipping.
I don't think it's ever named in the movie. Like she refers to it as, oh, there's my hometown. There's a train line that runs right through the center of town. And whenever she crosses that bridge, there's a train that goes underneath and it just spews black smoke into her face. And it's so gross. And he animates the uncomfortable grossness of that so well. And then he juxtaposes that with what I guess is Wales, which is the Field of Flowers where he meets Calcifer in the past.
That is no, that is still Angary.
Oh.
That is The Edge of the Waste.
Okay. But regardless, the thing is, like, all that shit's in this movie. He explicitly went out to make an anti-war film here.
Why would he do that?
Because the U.S. just invaded Iraq. And he was, like, winning his Oscar for Spirited Away as that invasion was beginning. And he's getting awards from Americans who are doing the things that he hates. And let me see if I can pull the quote.
It's fascinating how anti-imperialist and anti-industrialization he is coming from being a Japanese citizen.
Well, that kind of comes with it. The quote is, I wanted to convey the message that life... Oh, nope, that's not the right quote. Oh, I don't have a full quote. But he stated that he had a great deal of rage about the Iraq War, so he wanted to make a movie that would be poorly received in the United States. That was so anti-war.
He failed.
87% on Rotten Tomatoes.
You can't make an anti-war movie and then put a twink in it.
Yeah, a really hot twink.
Yeah.
He's blonde, brunette. That brief period of time he's a redhead. He's a looker. Hell, even when he's got the bird feathers going, Hal can get it. He can make me Hal.
Gross. So, Howl is cursed, right? In the movie?
Yes, he has the contract with Calcifer.
Okay.
There's a secondary layer to the curse where at night what he's doing, I guess it's where the Black Door leads. So I guess Wales isn't in the movie at all. The Black Door leads him basically to where the war is happening. So at night, or for periods of a time, he'll turn into this massive bird and bring down airships and try and sabotage the war machine of Ingary. So I was trying to figure out where this is supposed to take place, and the flag is like a shade of red off from the flag of Catalonia. So I was like, cool, Spain, gotcha. But yeah, so he doesn't even discriminate which war machines he's taking down. He's just trying to stop the destruction. Yes. So there's also that layer of the curse too, where he's told that one of these days he won't turn back human.
Yeah, and that's kind of in the book as well, which is basically like the Witch of the Waste is what happens when you're bonded with your fire demon for too long. And it's like Howl and Calcifer have only been bonded for, a decade, or at this point maybe a little bit longer, because Howl's not that old. Howl's like the same age. He's a couple years older than Sophie.
Yeah.
But he's not that old. And so the Witch of the Waste is what happens when you don't break that bond and you continue to rely on and use the fire demon, it basically takes over more and more of you. So that, in the movie, I interpreted that to mean he's relying more on Calcifer's power, and that's what's gonna, like, consume him, is he's going to essentially be lost to that power, and that's why he won't be able to turn back.
That tracks, yeah, because he relies on Calcifer for everything. The moving of the castle, his transformations, when they basically build the new door, because he essentially replaces, when he gets raided in Kingsbury and the seaside town, he basically moves one of his doors to Sophie's hat shop.
Yes.
And that's all Calcifer's power.
So the reason that they have to move in the book is that the castle itself is constantly moving so that the Witch of the Waste can't find them, and the doors move, he rotates them occasionally so that A, he can find new girls to romance, and B,
different hoes and different area codes.
And B, the same thing, you don't want to stay in one place too long because the witch will find you. And the witch finds him in Portshaven. So, but that's where Calcifer is actually physically located, which is why they have to do the move to Market Chipping.
Yeah. So Calcifer is, like, in the castle, and they're in the wastes, like in the wasteland.
Yes.
In the film.
Yeah.
The movie has a completely different villain, because it's set up to be the Witch of the Waste. When we're introduced to Howl, he's being pursued by her.
Yeah.
He recognizes Sophie. We don't understand it as him recognizing her yet, because there's time travel in this. He recognizes Sophie, helps her escape basically some sexual predators, and she ends up on the radar of the Witch of the Waste, who then curses her to become an old lady, blah, blah, blah. But she, like, at the end of, like, the first act, halfway through the second act, structure's a little different for Miyazaki.
Yeah.
Hal gets summoned to the king's palace to fight in the war, as both his alter ego, Pendragon, and his alter ego, Jenkins.
Yes.
Both are summoned. So Sophie goes in his stead as his mother, to basically say, nah, he ain't coming, he's a lazy piece of shit. And as she approaches the palace, so does the Witch of the Waste. And they have that great scene up the steps,
yes,
where they're just exhausted, these two old ladies, exhausted, while Sophie's carrying that heavy-ass dog, Heen. And then when they get up there, the Witch of the Waste is distracted by something, and is magicked back to her true old age. And she loses all of her powers, and she's just an ancient old woman who still wants to fuck Hal and eat his heart. And that's where we meet Solomon, who's the actual big bad of this one.
Yes.
And so what exactly was the Witch of the Waste's motivation in the movie, or in the book?
So in the book, her motivation, it's kind of the same, where the witch is the red herring, the distraction, because the real villain is her fire demon, who we don't get the name of her demon, we just get the alter ego that the demon uses to catch Howl, basically. The fire demon has taken over at this point, and her body is the human body that they are using is wearing out. So they need a replacement. Mm-hmm. So that's where Solomon, Justin, and Howl come in.
And okay, so the fire demon's building the Frankenstein's monster.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's also essentially going to, I think, kill Calcifer or absorb Calcifer by taking over the heart.
That would make sense.
Yeah. And so that's kind of it's an interesting thing that the Witch of the Waste is, like, set up to be the super powerful big bad in both, and she's really just a distraction in both.
Yeah. Except, like, the distraction's taken away so quick in the movie. As soon as we meet Solomon, it's about her instead. And her whole deal is just, I need to win this war. I need you to help me fight this war. And if you won't help me fight the war, I will end you.
So it feels like the character, for the movie, they combine two characters for Solomon. Mm-hmm. It feels like it's Hal's teacher, Mrs. Pentstemon, and or Wizard Pentstemon, and Wizard Solomon, because Wizard Solomon is not his skull is kind of a character, but
No, that's exactly what it is. I came across that in my research.
yeah, because that makes it a cleaner narrative.
Yeah.
At least for the story that it feels like Miyazaki is trying to tell.
Which is like explicitly a story about war. I don't know if he even read the book. So the Blu-ray box set you got me, which again, thank you, came with this lovely booklet inside that is just notes from Miyazaki's pre-production notes.
Uh-huh.
Printed on a page.
Beautiful.
So we do know what he was thinking going into it. And the first thing he says is, the translator of the original work did a fine job summarizing the story. So I present a revised version of it below. And he basically says, like, what he wants to do with it is take, like, this golden age of nationalism, quote, a time when soldiers go to the battlefield, bouquets are thrown, flowers decorate rifles, and troops are sent off with shouts of joy. Quote, and then a war breaks out, and it's not a fairy tale war. It's not a battle in which individual courage and honor are on the line. It's a modern, cross-national, all-out war. I'm not clear on the story yet, but this is the direction I want to go in. So those were, like, his pre-production notes. Like, he took, like, this little background thing that's in the end, like, in the background of a fantasy romance deconstruction type novel, and it's just like, it's about the war now. We'll fuck up some kids with war.
So the war in the book that is threatening to start is because Prince Justin is missing. Mm-hmm. And it's between the Witch of the Waste and the Kingdom of Angry, basically.
Yeah.
And so it also signals that there's some sort of unrest in Angry, because basically the implication with Prince Justin disappearing is that he and his brother fought, and then Justin disappeared. Mm-hmm. So everyone's like, oh, he had his brother murdered. And that's designed again by the witch because she wants Justin's corporeal form.
Yeah. Like, I don't even think why the war starts in the film is even that clear. There might be a line of dialogue at the beginning about Justin, and then when, Turnip Head turns into a real boy at the end, he's just like, oh, I'm alive, off to end the war. It's me, Justin. I'm the one that started this. You and him, I will see myself out. And he just fucks off. It's and honestly, I love that because that's like how modern war is. Like, even going back to like World War One, like the famous powder keg moment of Archduke Franz Ferdinand getting shot because he went to a sandwich shop or something. I'm blurry on the detail. No, there's like a thing where like his assassin tried 3 times that day to get him and couldn't, and then like gave up and then just ran into him after getting a sandwich. And was like, oh, all right, bam. Which like set off, like all these other tensions finally like boiled to the top. But like, that might not be the best example because it's a commonly known story. But like when we think about World War One, it's not the first thing we think about. We think about war of attrition, trench warfare, the introduction of aircraft into war in a very, for the time, like primitive sense. Yeah. Mustard gas, the ending of Blackadder, like, and the start of the war is kind of foggier in the midst of it.
Yeah.
Right. So. Yeah, I kind of like that he went that route with it.
Because it's almost like it doesn't matter once it starts why it started.
Because now there's violence.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of the point. I feel like you have less to offer on the war sense because the novel has less to offer on the war sense.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bit about, there's an interview with Diana Wynne Jones in the end of the book. And the question was, were you surprised by Miyazaki's vision of the castle and characters of Howl's Moving Castle? And her answer is, I was surprised by Miyazaki's moving castle because I had not thought of the castle having feet. In the book I wrote, the castle is more like a hovercraft and floats an inch or so above the ground. But I'm very fond of Miyazaki's castle. I have several models of it around the house. As for Howl and Sophie, both of them are gentler and more noble than the characters in my books. But I wasn't surprised by this. Movies are always different.
Yeah.
Which is very similar to what William Goldman said about Princess Bride.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he definitely made a concerted effort to make Sophie just like a bastion of kindness. Because her gut instinct when she gets to the castle is they need help. Someone's got to clean this shit. It's a kid and a vain teenager in here, like, and a fire demon. I'm gonna clean up a little bit.
So.
And then when the Witch of the Waste gets Solomoned, she joins the crew. She gets invited, and so does Heen. Heen, the dog that she knows is a spy for Solomon, just invited right on in. She just shows kindness to everybody. And that's what ends up eventually breaking the spell.
So this is where my controversial take on this starts.
Okay.
I loved the movie when I first saw it. It wasn't my favorite, but I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I read the book. And I went, Miyazaki, you are known for your strong, independent, powerful female characters. You had a strong, independent, powerful female character, and you cut her into pieces.
You talking about Sophie?
Yes.
Okay, go on.
Sophie throws weed killer at Howl's face when she finds out that he knows she's cursed and didn't say anything.
Okay, that's badass.
The whole chapter, first of all, the chapter titles in this are fucking hysterical. The chapter titles are all in the form of in which blank happens. So it's like in which Sophie talks to hats. The chapter that I'm referring to is chapter 19, in which Sophie expresses her feelings with weed killer. Because she has gotten so upset.
That's an episode of Friends I want to see. the one where Rachel throws weed killer at Joey.
So what has happened to lead to her creating the weed killer is that she has gotten upset with Howl because he is pursuing her sister. In reality, he's only pursuing her sister because he's gathering information about Sophie to try to break her curse. But Sophie's curse is double layered. She's kind of keeping it on herself. Because the curse is to be an old woman, but before then, she was kind of cursing herself by sticking to the tropes of fairy tale or trying to avoid the tropes of fairy tale. So she kind of like has diminished herself, which is also why the Witch of the Waste's curse is so powerful. But I have lost my train of thought.
Oh no. Derailed.
I was talking about the weed killer.
Weed killer.
Yes. So Sophie is in love with Howl for a while before she realizes it. Like, the reader picks up on it because she's mad at him for no reason, but it's like, the mad isn't just, oh, you're being stupid and selfish. The mad is like, you are being stupid and selfish, and you're gonna hurt someone else that I love, but also, like, I care about you, and I'm mad that I care about you. And he is spending time with her sister, and she's upset about that, and he comes back, and she isn't talking to him. She's, like, refusing to talk to him and just dealing with all the flowers for the flower shop. And he's literally, like, whining that she's not talking to him, so he leaves again. And she's yelling at the flowers that she's put into water, and she's just like, be daffodils. I want you to be daffodils. Be daffodils. And because she's so angry, basically the force of her words and the fact that the flowers can't change into daffodils poisons the water that they're in and turns it into weed killer.
Amazing.
Which she then throws at Howl.
Good for her. One of the things you were disappointed about is Sophie being a stronger female character in the book, and Miyazaki kind of throttling her.
Yes.
So Miyazaki was trying to make a point with that. One of the themes that he was working with this movie, and he's been working with all of his movies since, like Boy and the Heron especially, is the freedom that comes with old age. So in taking away her youth and making her a 90-year-old woman, that's what gets her out of the hat shop. That's what gets her on an adventure. That's what gets her to fall in love. That's what gets her to make friends. find her own life. So in a sense, like, I think there's still that element of that strong character there. It's just she chooses to show that strength by being a caring person instead of just, resigned to her fate as making hats, as she was at the beginning of the movie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And
your point is 100% valid, and I wish that old lady Sophie had thrown Weed Killer on Howl in the movie, because awesome, although it might have given some kids some ideas.
It's just like she has so many dimensions in the book. She's angry and she's spiteful and it's almost like you said, when she becomes an old woman, she finally gets in touch with these feelings that she has, and she allows herself to feel her feelings in a way that she didn't when she was young and resigned to her fate. But she also, in the movie, she is like this more noble and kind and, oh, I'm going to take care of Howl and I'm going to take care of Mark Howl and everything. But she's more like a sassy grandma in the book. She's
sassy in the movie. She like 2 or 3 times. Like, she'll do something and then Howl will come, like when Howl gets depressed and just turns into green ooze for a while, like she's like, this son of a bitch, I gotta clean this now. Like, multiple times she's like, I'm out of here. I'm leaving. I'm done.
Yes.
Like, she still has that. That's still there. And that's some of, like, the best stuff in the movie. Like, the most fun bits is when she just, like, fuck you guys. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Like,
the other thing is that she decides to start cleaning because she thinks that she notices the state and she's like, Howl won't kick me out if I am doing a task.
Yeah.
So in the book, the curse is more explicit from The Witch of the Waste. And the way that the curse is worded is very clever because the witch uses the real world to deliver it to him and seal it.
Oh, is this the one she, like, tucks in the pocket?
Kind of, yes. It's the equivalent of that. She uses his nephew's homework because her fire demon has taken up residence as his teacher.
So his level 1 maths homework.
It's actually his English homework, and it is a poem by John Donne called Song, which I am going to go ahead and read because it's not that long.
I'm sorry, Codie. The poem is called Song. You're gonna have to sing it.
No. So the poem is, go and catch a falling star, get with child a mandrake root, tell me where all past years are, or who cleft the devil's foot. Teach me to hear mermaids singing, or to keep off envy stinging, and find what wind serves to advance an honest mind. If thou beest born to strange sights, things invisible to see, ride 10,000 days and nights, till age snow-white hairs on thee, thou when thou return'st wilt tell me all strange wonders that befell thee, and swear nowhere lives a woman true and fair. If thou find'st one, let me know, such a pilgrimage were sweet, yet do not, I would not go, though at next door we might meet, though she were true, when you met her, and last till you write your letter, yet she will be false ere I come to 2 or 3. So basically, John Donne got cheated on and got real upset about it.
Yeah, well, fair. I mean, I would too.
But the crux of the poem is basically all of these impossible things have to happen before the curse will take effect. By the time the curse takes effect, most of them have happened. The very last one is improving an honest mind, or a wind advancing an honest mind. What wind serves to advance an honest mind? Howl uses the wind to transport himself and Sophie back to the castle to prevent the fire demon from taking Calcifer, and tells her the truth. And Sophie's literally like, oh fuck, he just satisfied the last part of the curse.
Yep.
So it's really interesting that she uses that poem and essentially turns it on its head in this fantasy setting, because the poem is saying basically no one will be true.
Mm-hmm.
Howl has gotten, by the time that the curse takes, Howl has become an honest man who will be true to Sophie. And it's essentially saying that the impossible is possible in this universe.
The more you're describing this book to me, the more parallels I see with the storytelling in Stardust.
Yeah.
And I can definitely see why you love this novel the same way you love Stardust.
Sophie is very similar to Book Yvain.
Tying it back to this being your birthday episode, which we did not mention yet.
Oh yeah, this is my birthday episode.
Your birthday episode. I don't have a birthday.
Nope, you were not born.
I did not have a birthday episode, and probably will not this year. We'll see what happens. It's besides the point.
Yeah, I actually had not made that connection until now, but that's a good point.
Yeah, it's very... Like, it's in that same vein of, like, this
Real
is
world.
fantasy, but you know it's fantasy, and there's a tie with a real world and a fantasy world, and we're deconstructing fantasy tropes as this character from the real world explores them and breaks them down and stuff. Yeah, it's in that same, like, field.
There are actually 2 sequels to this.
There are.
Yes. The sequel is called Castle in the Air. Different from Castle in the Sky.
I was like, are you fucking kidding me? You read Castle in the Air, I'll watch Castle in the Sky, and we'll figure out how it's an adaptation.
So Castle in the Air is Howl and Sophie aren't the main characters. I believe Howl has been turned into a magic carpet that is being used to woo a princess. And then the House of Many Ways is actually Sophie kind of takes on a Witch of the Waste aspect in that one. She's like the powerful sorceress that's watching a young girl.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So I haven't read those, but I'm interested to read them.
You should then, because you obviously love this book.
Yes. It's very good. Diana Wynne Jones is a delight.
Yeah. Want to talk about the movie a little bit?
Yeah.
So, before we go into, like, the details, like normal, there are 2 things that, like, this movie made me want to talk about in filmmaking. Because it's not the first animated feature we've done, but it's probably the biggest, I would say, because we did Nimona. Mm-hmm. I don't think we did any other animated movies.
Roger Rabbit is partly animated.
That's its own fucking deal. Let's be real
it's its
here.
own beast.
So, first thing I want to talk about is CGI in 2D animation specifically. I don't know if it's the first time he used it, but it's probably the most prominent use of CG in Miyazaki's work with the castle itself. And it's the opening shot of the trailer. It's one of the opening shots of the movie, is the way that castle moves. And my personal theory, I have nothing to back this up. My personal theory is that he specifically used, like, CG animation for that because it looks alien in the setting. He's got his gorgeous paintings of backgrounds and the way he draws clouds. And, I mean, I say he. I know there's other animators, but let's be real. Miyazaki does all this by hand on his own.
Yes.
And has for 45 years.
This man,
And he hates every second of it. And he will not stop until he dies.
Miyazaki versus Junji Ito.
Yeah. But no, like it's almost jarring because it doesn't look like his pen on paper. And I think that's intentional. And I think that's how he gets us into this world of magic. And I was wondering what your thoughts were on that.
I am trying to remember the inciting incident of the book is basically Howl's Castle shows up for the first time on the, like, moors outside of town. I'm trying to remember if it's explained how the castle works in terms of, like, how it's built, etc. I think you're onto something with that. It intentionally feels alien because it essentially is alien. It shouldn't exist. And it doesn't belong anywhere because it is designed to keep moving eternally. So I think that you're onto something. There's no place that would feel or look right. Although it is interesting considering the themes of anti-industrialization, how industrial the castle is.
Yeah, it's all like pieces of like smokestack, and then there's like turrets. Like it looks like it's built from. It's less industrial and more it's built from broken pieces of war machines.
Yeah, it's like scrap.
But it's also got like a it's like organic in design, made of metal and scrap and violence. You know what I mean? Like it's got its goofy little chicken legs. It's got a mouth with a tongue. It's got eyes.
The chicken legs almost make me think of Baba Yaga.
That was intentional.
Yeah.
That was absolutely intentional.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like even Diana Wynne Jones loved that design. It's the iconic piece of this movie, not Howl, not Sophie. It's that castle. And I love that. I love that so much.
Yeah, it's more like in the book, it's like literally a hovercraft floating castle.
Yeah. And at the end of the movie it is as well, because Miyazaki loves him some flying.
He sure does.
You know what else Miyazaki loves? A scene where a character looks at another character who's cursed and they have their original form because they're asleep.
Yeah, he really does love that.
He does that in this. He does that in Porco Rosso.
Yep.
That I just noticed that. The other thing I wanted to talk about before I get into details. This is, I think, the first film I watched for this that's completely in a foreign language. Joy Luck Club is like half in Cantonese or I can't remember if it's Cantonese or Mandarin.
It's probably both.
Honestly, yeah, it's probably a mix. But it's like half that, half English. And for narrative purposes, it has to be.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything else I've watched for this that's foreign.
Yeah, I don't think so.
So the reason I bring that up is I watch the subbed versions of these movies almost exclusively. Anything that's in a foreign language, I will read the subtitles and watch that version in the original language. And I have a very specific reason why, but I'm curious for you, what do you prefer? Does it matter as much to you? Because I know this is like a common argument in like anime circles especially.
So I'm gonna look at it in terms of the writing.
Okay.
Because obviously when we get the manga in English, I'm using manga specifically for this example, it's been translated. So like you could learn Japanese and read it in the original Japanese, but even in translation, if you get different editions, there's different translations.
Yep.
And this is something that I noticed. I'm going to use Fruits Basket as an example because I literally have the original Tokyo Pop 2005, 2006 editions. There were translation changes between that and the collector's editions.
Oh, yeah.
Because they retranslated them. And there's different story beats. And some of the translation changes I like, some of them I don't. So in a medium where you can hear the language and also get the subtitles, I prefer the subtitles. When I was younger, I always wanted the dubbed versions. But now that I'm older, and I've watched more foreign films, I prefer...
You're welcome.
You've ruined my life. You're a film bro and a sports bro.
Bro, I am a bro of many colors.
I prefer the subs.
Okay.
Holy
shit. The Phillies were losing 3-2 in the 8th. It's 8-3 in the bottom of the 9th.
I do appreciate the...
Speaking of sports, bro.
I do appreciate the dubs for some reasons. Like when I'm, listening at work and can't be watching the screen.
Yep.
And I also, it's interesting to compare performances because you do get like different performances from native English speakers versus Japanese speakers. Mm-hmm. Again, going with the Fruits Basket example, I've watched the dubbed series and the subbed series.
Yeah.
Because you do get kind of a different experience from both. And it's the same thing as like watching a play where it's two different actors,
Yeah. Like with anime... So like I said, I'm always the sub guy.
Yep.
I'm a sub day in, day out. Part of that comes from watching like the old Funimation dubs on Toonami, going back to Toonami, that were just ass. Like Brock eating a fucking rice ball in Pokemon and saying, this delicious donut. Like, it's not a fucking... I have eyes. I can see it's not a fucking donut. You donut. Like, terrible, terrible, terrible dubs.
Naruto and One Piece are like legendarily bad dubs in the first couple seasons.
And you and I both, I'm sure you've come across this as well, we were watching anime online in the peak era of fan subs. So we would get those great subs. Like, I remember watching through the Digimon series, and it would be, English subs, and then there'd be one word of Japanese in there, and then on another part of the screen, just a definition of what that means. It's like, hey, we're not going to try and just find a direct translation for this. This is the word he said. This is what this means in culture and in context. Because otherwise, you're not going to get the full weight of this character moment. I loved that, and professional subs don't do that.
I love in, again, I'm going to keep going back to Fruits Basket.
Fair, that's your point of reference.
There are pages and pages at the back of every single book that is explaining some of the cultural things that you can't translate, like the use of honorifics. She goes through each book. She goes through every single honorific and when you use them and what it kind of indicates.
So,
and that's,
san, chan...
Yes.
Senpai.
Exactly.
All of that. That's not in English. Like, the closest we have is, like, Mr., Ms., Mrs., but it's not quite the same thing.
Yeah, and it's, you also have, like, she'll explain traditions or holidays or stuff that we don't have in English.
White Day.
Golden Week. All of that kind of thing.
I've heard you talk about Fruits Basket before.
Yes.
I know the references you're talking about.
But then also, like, in real life, I work with a lot of people who are native Spanish speakers or ESL.
Yeah.
So I was actually just having a conversation with some of my coworkers because I was like, hey, so I saw this thing that said this word in Spanish is a bad word. And they were like, so, kind of, but also it depends on the context, but also it's like, bleh. And you don't get that with some of the, you don't get that in the dub. If it's just like a dub where guys like, hey, dick, you don't get that,
Like, good translations will try to, and I'm talking translations subbed and dubbed, will try to get the spirit of the original as best they can.
Yes.
But, God, I miss those fan subs. Those were the best. Like, oh yeah, I gotta have to pause this scene because there's a novel on the screen right now explaining to me what this one line of dialogue means. But it's gonna change the whole scene, and I'm gonna understand it much deeper.
Yes, it enriches your experience of the text and allows you to engage with it more.
It allows us to understand the original intent of the creators, which is the other reason why I will always prefer a sub, is because even with something like this, I know that Miyazaki was in the room when the Japanese voice cast was recording. So where they're putting their intonation, the way they're delivering the lines, like all of that, or even with a live action film, the director's on that set. So their facial movements and, the breathing and all that is influenced by what the director wants. And what we're hearing in the original language is what the director of the film wants us to hear.
The only thing I've ever seen in pop culture of a happy Miyazaki is when he is listening to someone record for Princess Mononoke.
Yes. He's not a happy man.
It's the only time I've ever seen that man smile.
But yeah, like you don't get that as much in a dub. It's usually a different director or even just a translator that's there, and it's up to the voice actor to put their own ideas into it. And it can change things. Like, one of my favorite examples is the movie Kung Fu Hustle. And I've seen that movie a dozen times now. I usually only watch it subbed. When I first got it, and I would hyperfixate on new DVDs and watch it multiple times, I watched it dubbed. And I can't remember which version, but in one of the languages, it's implied that the main character is, like, the long-lost son of the landlord and landlady. And in the other version, that's just not there. It's like, that changes a lot.
So, okay, another example from Fruits Basket of a context thing that you're never going to get is that in the new anime, which is one of the main plot threads of Fruits Basket, is that one of the main characters does not call the other main character by their name. They effectively are calling them... Yuki calls Toru Honda-san, which is like familiar but also formal.
Because that's the family name, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
The way that they chose to translate that in the current edition of the anime was as Miss Honda. So he's calling her Miss Honda all the time. He doesn't use her first name. It's a big character moment that at the end of the series, he finally calls her by her first name. And it's, how do you come across like that, and how do you translate that and that cultural moment?
Yeah, because it's a very cultural thing, too. And, like, that's something that can't quite be translated unless you understand the culture. And, like, you and I both, like, a lot of Japanese shit. Pronunciation's going to be a different thing, as y'all will learn in a moment here. I tried to learn the language, and I got hung up on the 3 different alphabets. Thanks, Duolingo. I heard Babbel does it better.
Oh.
I think, is it Babbel, or I can't remember what Nick used.
I just liked on Duolingo drawing the little characters.
Yeah, but yeah, like, so we have probably a better understanding of some aspects of Japanese culture than most Americans would, but even then, we don't, like, have the whole fucking background of living in a culture and understanding the nuances.
We're not Kenny Omega.
No. So now time for me to butcher some pronunciations?
Sure!
Let's talk about this cast and crew. Howl's Moving Castle was directed by Hayao Miyazaki. He directed things like My Neighbor Totoro, Kiki's Delivery Service. It was written by Hayao Miyazaki, who wrote such films as Princess Mononoke and Spirited Away. I actually grabbed both voice casts because it's important to me that we recognize the Japanese voices, even though you're going to know the names of the English voices. Mm-hmm. Sophie was played by Chieko Baisho, who was in The Yellow Handkerchief, The Hidden Blade. Let me get this director's name, because she worked a lot with this one director who did those 2 movies.
Now, are these also animated, or are they live action?
Live action. She did a lot of live action. Actually, most of this cast did more live action than not. Yoji Yamada.
Okay.
He's famous for things like Twilight Samurai, Yellow Handkerchief, Love and Honor, samurai movies in the 70s. And Chieko Baisho is unique in that I think she might be the only voice actor to play both young and old Sophie.
Oh, that's interesting.
I love that.
Yeah.
Interesting decision for that. She was also in Mobile Suit Gundam Movie 1.
Of course.
Because why not? That's something I know you'll recognize. Howl was played by Takuya Kimura, who was in a boy band called SMAP or SMAP. I'm not sure how it's pronounced. He was in a TV show and the movie based on the TV show called Hero. Not the Heroes NBC. And he was also in the Like a Dragon spin-off games Judgment and Lost Judgment.
I was waiting for one of these motherfuckers
I was
to
like,
show up
one
on
of them has to be in one of these games, and it was Howl. The Witch of the Waste was played by Akihiro Miwa. He is a well-known drag queen and cabaret singer.
Okay.
And he played Moro in Princess Mononoke.
Yes.
I know he's who you were talking about.
Yes.
Yeah, no, he came back for this, which great casting.
If you ever want a treat, watch the recording session of Moro. And specifically, I believe it's Moro's laugh. You will watching Hayao Miyazaki smile is just
Yeah. Calcifer was played by Tetsuya Gashuin. He played Aogeru in Spirited Away. Am I pronouncing that right? I don't know Spirited Away as well as you do.
I don't recognize the name, which makes me think that might be No Face.
Oh, possibly. He was also in Kamen Rider W.
That is the Japanese Power Rangers. Kamen Rider.
Kind of.
Yeah. It's what Power Rangers is yanked from.
No, Power Rangers was Super
Sentai?
Yeah, Sentai.
I thought Kamen
Rider's like the motorcycle anime, right? God. Yeah. Yeah, Kamen Rider W is a 2009 anime.
How is Aogeru spelled?
Aogaeru.
Oh, he's the little frog guy in Spirited Away, which was my...
Oh, maybe this is live action. It looks like Power Rangers, but it's not Power Rangers. It's in the same wheelhouse.
Yes. This is Aogeru, the little shit frog.
Oh, okay, cool. Keep that page open, because Markle...
Okay.
Was played by... Markle is Michael in the book.
Yes.
Ryunosuke Kamiki. He played Bo in Spirited Away. B-O-H.
Bo.
And he also recently appeared in Godzilla -1.
Oh.
Yeah. Which, weirdly, the only Godzilla credit I saw looking up this cast.
Huh.
Who was Bo?
Oh my god, Bo is the baby.
Oh my god.
I don't know their names, I just know, like...
Yeah. Like I said, Miyazaki's a vibes kind of guy.
Yeah.
You recognize, like, the images and the characters and how they make you feel. Names...
After we had that whole conversation, I am ashamed to admit I don't think I've ever seen Spirited Away subbed. I've only ever seen the dub.
Oh, no. No, you've seen it subbed. We saw it in theaters subbed.
Oh, okay.
You've definitely seen it, because I made sure we went to the subs for all of them, because I'm so particular about that personally.
Yes.
Speaking of the English voice cast, young Sophie was played by Emily Mortimer. She was the sister-in-law in Lars and the Real Girl. Or
yes.
sister-in-law, yeah. Mm-hmm. And she's also Holly Shiftwell in Cars 2.
Okay.
Old Sophie was played by Gene Simmons. Not that Gene Simmons.
Okay.
She played Ophelia in Hamlet 1948. And she was also in Spartacus with the Stanley Kubrick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think she might even have an Oscar. I'm not sure what you would know her from. I feel like I didn't pull the best options from her. Also, I assume it's pronounced Jean. Jean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, she was in, like, the film version of Guys and Dolls. Oh, she was in Hell's Moving Castle.
Oh,
she was in Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within. No, she's one of those, like, classically trained actresses. Howl was played by Christian Bale, who you may know from, The Prestige, The Fighter, Christopher Nolan's Batman movies. The Witch of the Waste was played by Lauren Bacall.
Incredible.
Future episode of the pod, The Big Sleep. Past episode of the pod, Murder on the Orient Express, 1974. Yeah. She was Mrs. Hubbard.
Yes.
Calcifer was played by Billy Crystal. When Harry Met Sally, every Oscars in the 90s, Monsters, Inc. Hey, Monsters, Inc. again.
Monsters, Inc. again. Wasn't he also in Princess Bride?
Yeah, he was,
Mad Max, Miracle Max.
Mad Max, no, that's a different guy. Marco was played by, friend of the pod, Josh Hutcherson.
Oh, yes, I remember that now!
I didn't even write movies he was in. I just wrote PETA. Where's PETA?
Where's PETA?
PETA! And I didn't grab Letty from the Japanese cast, but I had to grab her from the English cast. Because she's played by Jenna Malone.
Of course.
Contact, Catching Fire. Friend of the pod, Jenna Malone.
Jenna Malone.
Friend of my heart.
So, Just for funsies, because I was confirming what else Akihiro Miwa had been. Do you know who the English voice dub of Moro was in Princess Mononoke?
No.
Gillian Anderson.
I mean, okay. Fine, I guess. I love his use, and that's why I like the subs, because he made a choice. Miyazaki made a choice to cast a drag queen in those roles for a reason.
Yes.
And there's like a timbre to that voice that is kind of, it's like unique to a drag queen that affects how you view that character. That Gillian Anderson, frankly, doesn't have in her voice.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I don't have a lot of trivia because I didn't really look up trivia. I did, so I was, I've been rewatching the first season of Lost. And the other day I was watching an episode and it was right after Claire has her baby. And Charlie keeps referring to the baby as Turnip Head. And I was like, wait a minute. That episode aired May 11th, 05. The US release date of this, June 17th, 05. Nice. So just saying, Turnip Head was in the zeitgeist for a good month and a half there in 2005. Season 1, episode 22 is the episode I'm referring to explicitly of Lost. So I created my own trivia. I'm going to put that in the IMDb trivia section, and no one will like it.
Do it.
I don't really have much else. How bad do you think Calcifer smelled when he ate Sophie's hair?
I love the description of, or I love like how Calcifer looks in the movie, because he's just like
Miyazaki loves a little guy.
He's just a little, when he's dangling off of the shovel.
Oh yeah.
And he's just like, Sophie, help.
He's like on the last like little chunk of log, and he keeps slipping off. Oh, I love it so much. He's such a fun character.
He does not look like that in the book.
He's described as just like pulsating light, right?
He is basically a face. The way that it's described is like the center of it is of course the heart, which is like black and like barely beating. And then
Howl's heart specifically.
Yes, Howl's heart. And then it's kind of like he's almost described as like a ghost, because he doesn't have legs or feet or most of a chest, but he kind of has like the top, like the starting part of a body, which Sophie sees when they move the house. Mm-hmm. But the way that it's described is basically from the center out, his color changes the way that fire does. So, like, his hair is, like, green and blue. Mm. And then his face, like, he has the red eyes and, like, the yellow-white. And then, like, as he gets closer to the blue and white flames, it's, like, the hotter part of the center of it.
It sounds like you're describing Hades from Disney's Hercules.
Kind of, but, like, more colors.
Yeah. God. I love how he's animated in this. And also, like, the little guys that, like, take Witch of the Wast's magic away, the little dancing guys that Solomon uses. Like, Miyazaki loves his little guys. He's got, like, the clicky head guys from Mononoke. He's got the fucking...
Those are actual Japanese spirits.
Yes.
Yes. What are those called? It's not important.
He's got the soot sprites in Set Spirited Away.
There's soot sprites in Spirited Away and
in Totoro.
Totoro, yeah.
He's got Totoro's little buddies. God, he loves a little guy.
So this is... I'm showing you the cover of one of the editions of Howl's Moving Castle. That's kind of what he looks like. He's described as basically being a face in the flames.
Okay, yeah, that's... Like when in the novels and films that we're never going to cover, when people communicate through fireplaces.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, similar. Yeah. I dig it. He kind of looks like that in the movie when he does when he moves the castle. Like, he gets big. Like, you can see it in the trailer.
Yeah.
A little bit.
When he, like, explodes.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that character. Calcifer's the best.
He's very fun. And I love how he, like, leaves, and then he comes back and he's like, it's wet. It's raining. He's just like, I want to stay here. He's a cat. Calcifer is a cat.
Yes, a fire cat. We should name our next cat Calcifer.
Okay.
Luna is looking at us in confusion, like, what do you mean next cat? I don't have a whole lot else here. I pulled some quotes. One from the movie. His anti-war agenda, Calcifer's line, "I hate the fire and gunpowder. They have no manners."
That's such a good line.
That is a fucking bar. couple quotes from Miyazaki. I wanted to convey the message that life is worth living, and I don't think that's changed. Diana Wynne Jones on the movie. It's fantastic. No, I have no input. I write books, not films. Yes, it will be different from the book. In fact, it's likely to be very different, but that's as it should be. It will still be a fantastic film. Which, how many authors, Stephen King, have been really mad at The Shining Stephen King movies that were made based on their books, Stephen King? To the point where they got high on cocaine and made their own movies, Maximum Overdrive, Stephen King. That happens so often.
To be fair, he didn't get high on cocaine specifically because he wanted to make his own movie. He was just high on cocaine for that whole decade.
Yeah. And he made Maximum Overdrive, and then he did his, TV version of The Shining, which was ass.
Didn't he do that Christopher Walken one?
Oh, Thinner?
Yeah.
That's a Stephen... I don't think he had any hand in the movie. But that's a Stephen King movie, yeah. Or Stephen King adaptation.
Yeah.
Oh, the day we start doing Stephen King is the day we're out of ideas. The last quote I have is from an article called Animating Grandma by Elizabeth Parsons. Mm-hmm. I love this quote. In Miyazaki's balancing act, old women can be powerful and weak, positive and negative, nurturing and selfish, maligned and loved. In short, they cannot be simply categorized or stereotyped, and they cannot be dismissed as fantasy malefactors embodied by evil witches. And that's why I wanted to bring that up with Sophie when we were talking about that, is that the way Miyazaki views old women, and this is absolutely a Japanese thing, this is a cultural thing as well as a storytelling thing, is that old women have all this depth because they're still their young selves in there and who they used to be, as well as the age and wisdom that they've grown into over time.
There is a fascinating book by one of my favorite authors. I'm not sure which name appears on the book, but I'm going to use their current name. It is called Dead Blondes and Bad Mothers by Jude Doyle. And it is about the trope of being the virgin, the crone, or the mother, and how that is all that women are allowed to be. And that is something that I will give Miyazaki credit for, is that he does not peg women into those holes. Like you were saying with Animating Grandma, he does that really well in Spirited Away. It's literally the same design of old woman doing two opposite things in Yubaba and I do not remember her name, but the good one.
Yeah.
Zeniba and Yubaba. It's the same exact character because they're twins, which is great. It's just a great bit. But one of them is good and one of them is evil, but they're both still super powerful.
Yeah. And it's unfortunately in the year of our Lord 2024 still a problem when a major motion picture stars a female, because all these boys, I'm going to call them boys, I don't care how old they are, they're acting like children, so they're boys.
Yep.
All these boys will complain that I can't relate to a female character, and I think it's because a lot of us grew up on media where female characters were so one-dimensionally written. And yet I grew up watching My Neighbor Totoro, where these characters are as fleshed out as children in this movie as I was as a child, and could still relate to them regardless of the bits in my pants.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at the posters on our wall. Spirited Away, female lead. Kiki, female lead. Totoro, female lead. Castle in the Sky is the only one that's on our wall. But even then, there's still, a female character.
Miyazaki does a thing that's really interesting, which is I feel like I was excited about Howl's before it came out because I think it was the first explicit love story that we were getting. Mm-hmm. Because, Castle in the Sky, it's kind of a love story, but it's, a love story between two 12-year-olds, so it's not, that serious.
Yeah. But also when you're 12, that's everything. So it works for that audience.
Yeah, and then with Totoro, it's more about family. With Kiki's, it's more about friendship and coming of age. With Spirited Away, it's the friendship between Haku and Chihiro. It's very much Miyazaki loves to explore love and what that means, and all of the different ways that you can experience it. And this is the first, explicitly romantic love.
Yeah. I feel like there's elements of, romantic love in, Mononoke.
Yeah.
And a bit in Castle of Cagliostro as well. There's like flirtation.
Yeah, Cagliostro is a little different because it's not like his.
Yeah,
characters.
Cagliostro is it's such a weird one because it's still like written and directed by Miyazaki, but it's not like a Miyazaki. It's one of my favorite Miyazaki movies.
Yeah,
it's fun as fuck.
It's Miyazaki, but it's not Ghibli.
Yeah.
So, there's a very funny quote from that article about Howl. The question was, "The wizard Howl has charmed many readers across the world. What do you make of that?" The one big strange fact about Howl is that almost every young woman who reads about him wants to marry him. They begin wanting to before the book was even published, and they all confess their wish quite openly. Yesterday, I was doing a question and answer session in a London theater, and a teenage girl put her hand up and said, without any embarrassment at all, she'd long wanted to marry Howl, and would I mind? I wondered whether to ask her if she would mind everywhere being covered with green slime when Howl's hair went wrong, or if she minded coping with a man who had head colds like a drama queen, or being twisted around Howl's little finger, or would it worry her that the man was a terrible coward, or always falling in love with other women, or... But I could see that she merely regarded these facts as a challenge. So I sat with my mouth open, and for a second, and then told her that she had now joined the end of a very long line that stretches at least once around the world. My opinion of Howl is that, much as I love him, he is the last person I would want to marry.
That's funny because she definitely didn't talk to one of my coworkers. I'm not gonna name her because I didn't ask for permission. So, but I brought up to her yesterday that we're covering this on the pod, and she's like, "Oh, hated that." I was like, "What?" And she's like, "Yeah, couldn't stand any of the characters. Howl's a dick."
I mean, she's not wrong.
She's not wrong.
He's a huge dick.
My response was, you should read the book then, because apparently it's a lot better.
The other thing that I wanted to say is there anything about where the idea of the moving castle came from? I would think not, just because...
In the text of the film, or...
In, like, the movie. Did it talk about where she got the idea for it?
Where Diana Wynne Jones did?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, not that I saw. The only thing I saw was that it was, like, loosely based on a Christmas play?
So, the dedication on this is, the idea for this book was suggested by a boy in a school I was visiting, who asked me to write a book called The Moving Castle. I wrote down his name and put it in such a safe place that I've been unable to find it ever since. I would like to thank him very much.
Oh, that's funny. Did she say anything about the Christmas play thing?
No.
Okay, so I didn't see anything in... obviously, I only researched the movie. I didn't research the book. But in Miyazaki's notes, he says, I believe this work was conceived as a Christmas play for children. And then he goes into, like, how this would work on stage, and it would be one set, it would be the castle, there'd be 4 doors that lead different places, characters would come in and out, a lot of monologues, that kind of thing. I was curious if you had seen anything about that, or if that's just Miyazaki misremembering things 20 years ago.
Let me see. You say on the dedication page that a young boy gave you the idea for the moving castle, but did it spring into your mind fully formed or take time to develop? When the boy gave me the idea, I knew at once that I would want to write about it, but it took a long time to decide how. I needed to discover Howl and Sophie first. This didn't happen for about 3 years, by which time I had totally forgotten the safe place where I'd put the boy's name and address.
Yeah, so nothing about...
Nope.
I want to know where Miyazaki got that Christmas thing from. Because I just skimmed the Wikipedia article as well because I'm researching. And it didn't say anything about that history. It just said the same stuff you said about the little boy with the idea.
Yeah.
So what the fuck was Miyazaki on?
Translation error?
Probably. Translated to Japanese and then back to English, like... Like when Kayfabe News used to take wrestling promos and translate them from like English to Chinese to French then back to English, and they'd be hilarious. Anyway, that's all I got.
Yeah, I don't really have much else. I strongly recommend this book. It's very interesting. It's very funny. If you If you don't like fantasy, you're not going to enjoy it because the joke is, like, so many of the jokes are built on, like, loving mockery of fantasy tropes and fairy tale tropes.
Yeah. I think a lot of those elements were cut from the movie just because 4-quadrant picture, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Not that Miyazaki cares about that shit.
But if you like fantasy and if you like the movie, you will enjoy the book.
Yeah. I love the movie. I think it's great. It's obviously not his best work. It's from the peak of his career, though, like right after Spirited Away.
Yeah.
So he's in his prime at this time. The vibes are good. It's gorgeous. It's acted so well. The sub. I don't know what Christian Bale and Billy Crystal are doing, but I'm sure they're fine.
May all your bacon burn.
I'll burn all your bacon. I love it.
I love Sophie just arguing with Calcifer and just constantly blackmailing him into doing what she wants.
Yeah.
You want me to tell Hal about our deal? Fuck you.
Yes. And then Hal is like, how did you get him to work for you? Like, there's so many great little moments and beats, and the character designs are so memorable.
There is one thing I want to say, which is, because Hal is such, like, a womanizer, there's a line where either Calcifer or Michael says that they will know that Howl is truly in love for real the first time that he doesn't spend hours in the bathroom before he goes to visit someone, a young lady. The first time we see that is when he goes to rescue Sophie from the Witch of the Waste. He shows up unshaven and unshowered to rescue her.
He likes her. So now is normally the time where we give a little prompt for some audience participation. So if you, Cody, I'll give you some time to think about it. If you lived in a magic house that had 4 exits that could lead anywhere in the world, where would those 4 exits lead?
Does it have to be real world, or can it also be fantasy worlds?
I want to say it has to be... You're allowed one fantasy world, considering in the book he's got the one that goes to Wales.
Okay.
You get one fantasy world, the other 3 have to be real world places.
Okay. Do you have yours?
No. I'm working on... I just thought this up, like, moments ago. I'll talk through mine, though, while you think about yours.
Okay.
I don't want to be obvious, like, one of them is work. Like, no, fuck that. If I have these doors, I'm not working.
Exactly.
So, one of them is the Hummingbird Sanctuary at the San Diego Zoo. One of my favorite places on this planet. It's tucked off to the side.
I think it's gone now.
I think they tore it down, but time travel's in this book, so time travel's in my fucking idea.
Fair enough. Well, time travel isn't in the book, it's in the movie.
Time travel's in the movie, so fuck you. No, if it's still there, visit it if you can. If it's not, I'm so sorry you can't. But the way I remember it, and will always remember it, is just this small aviary off to the side, away from the center of the zoo, kind of down a path that looks like you're not supposed to go there. And it's like so quiet inside, and there's a couple of benches and some running water and trees. And the longer you sit there, the more you realize that there are hundreds of hummingbirds just flitting around, eating, doing their thing. It is one of the most zen places on this planet. So that's one of my doors. My fantasy door. Kamurocho, as it is in the Yakuza games.
I'm pretty sure that's just that neighborhood in Japan.
But as it is in the Yakuza games, because then Kiryu will rescue me from
being beaten up by thugs.
And all I have to do is give him like an iron plate or a bottle of energy drink, and he's happy. And the thug will like change their life, drop some money that I can pick up because Kiryu's pockets are full. You know.
Fair enough.
Living the dream. The third would be somewhere in Brazil. I'm not quite sure where. Either that beachside town that we stopped in for an afternoon that one time, that I can't remember the name of the town, but that's where I first had, I can't remember the name of them in Portuguese, but chicken balls, which is just like fried balls full of like potato and chicken, and they're delicious. Or a town called New Jerusalem, which is a giant set for nativity plays. But when we went, it was just us and some Dutch tourists. So ain't fucking nobody. Or you know what? It might be that beachside town we stayed at too, off season. We had a little cabin on the beach, hammock on the porch. 2 steps away, you're on the beach. 15 steps after that, you're in the water. And there was a sand berm out breaking waves, so the water was calm, and you could just sit in the fucking South Atlantic and swim. There, that's the spot. That's the spot. And then my 4th door would probably be somewhere in Pennsylvania, close enough to go see friends and not necessarily have to see family. Oh, no, Subaru Park.
Just a bathroom?
Just Subaru Park. Just right into the park so I can go see Union games. There it is. Those are my doors.
All right.
Them's the doors.
Okay. So, first door, that room that we stayed at the MGM in Vegas. I think it was MGM for the wedding.
Oh, yeah. That room is great.
There.
That's a nice hotel.
Because then, you've got the strip there.
Best friend is downstairs.
That
gin bar is downstairs.
The second would be somewhere in Japan. I don't know if I would want to do Tokyo or Okinawa or...
See, this is why I did Kamurocho and Yakuza. Because, hear me out, all the video game shit's happening. There's still real Japanese restaurants serving real Japanese food that we can try. And then it's like a 650 yen taxi to fucking Okinawa.
See...
Just saying.
The thing is, Fruits Basket takes place in Tokyo.
Okay.
So, I'm leaning towards Tokyo, but I also kind of want one of these to be, like, sort of rural. The third one would be our friend's beach house in New Jersey.
Oh, yeah. That's a nice spot.
And...
Before or after it shifted 5 feet during Hurricane Sandy?
Let's do...
Closer to the beach or further from the beach?
And then 4th would be the fantasy. And that would be... I'm really torn here.
The Oasis from Ready Player One.
No. I would kill people there.
That's
in real
what it's
life.
for. I get it. You're working for the bad guys. I know you.
I'm torn between saying Willow Creek, which is a neighborhood of The Sims.
You know what, though? Rent is cheap. Work pays well. Time will pause, and then your house will be rearranged the way you want it.
Right? Like, as long as I know all the cheat codes, which it's implied that I would.
If you want to just check out, God can take control and put you through the motions.
If it's specifically Willow Creek in my own game, and I'm just playing it in, like, one of the other places, I can just motherload whenever I need to. So I'm torn between that and just kind of the generic fantasy setting of Redwall.
Would you be a human or would you be one of the animals?
I'd be one of the animals, because everyone is an animal.
Actually, I don't know. I don't think the doors work that way. I think you'd have to be a human.
I'd have to be human?
I think so.
Okay, so
because I don't think the door would transform you.
So then I would do Tamara Pierce. I would go into her, I'd go to Tortle.
Alright. That's respectable. If you listening at home have some ideas for doors you want to enter, you can send them our way, send them to soonmajorpod@gmail.com. You can also find us on our social media accounts at the Linktree link in the description on this podcast. And if you can't read, Mark, linktr.ee/soonmajorpod. Let us know your doors. Let us know your thoughts. Say hello. I love how about an hour and a half into this, I was like, oh, we're wrapping up earlier than I thought, and we're still at 2 fucking hours.
We also haven't said what we're doing next.
We haven't said what we're doing next, and it's not what I told you we're doing next earlier.
I said one thing, you said it was something else.
And then it turned out to be something different. That's right.
We are well organized, folks.
So the thing is, I have the list and the dates. I just can't remember it because now that it's written down, why would I need to remember it? I know where it's written down. That's less information. I gotta save hard drive space up in the old nog.
You were never tested?
Not on once. I did well in school. So, speaking of school year's ending. My dear sweet teacher mother's retiring. The kids have their summer break. And what was everyone's favorite part of summer break?
Homework!
That summer reading list. Hey kids, for English class next year, you need to show up with a paper on one of these 10 books. So we went online and we looked up, summer reading books for high schoolers and found 4 that were made into movies. And so we're going to do them. And you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to give all 4 of them. So we're starting.
We're giving you homework.
You've got homework. We're going to start June 13th. Our episode is going to be one I did in high school, The Grapes of Wrath.
That is what you told me earlier.
Yep. I told you something different earlier. June 27th, we're going to do The Picture of Dorian Gray.
Ugh.
You came up with that one.
I know.
That one was your choice.
Well, I hated it at the time.
And now you got to read it again. July 11th, 1984.
God damn it.
I can't wait for that one.
I hate Past Me.
And July 25th, this is also partially a request from our dear friend Mark, who sent me the Blu-ray and Codie the novel for Christmas, To Kill a Mockingbird. So your homework for next episode, class, is either read or watch the movie The Grapes of Wrath.
For more audience participation, if you did any homework or projects on any of those novels,
we want to hear about that shit.
Please share it with us.
Send us your high school essays if you still have them. I want to read that shit.
Yes, absolutely.
But yeah, so Grapes of Wrath. Can't wait to talk about fucking unions. It's been a while since I've gone on an anti-capitalist rant, and I'm going to have a nice one lined up.
The New Deal and social safety nets?
It's
going to be a spicy pod.
Oh, Lord, it's coming. Oh, Lord, I'm coming. Speaking of, this fat ass over here wants some treats.
Hey.
See it in her eyes.
Being nice to her. She's been very calm and quiet, except for when she jumped on my neck.
I'm talking about me.